Then
Okay, we're live.
sorry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Monday night with Nikolai and Shane. And you know what, Nikolai? Go fuck yourself.
What did you say?
Like, go fuck yourself. Like, you think you're in fucking charge and you're not. Go fuck yourself.
It's not even funny. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm really fucking pissed at you. You just like take over. I don't know who the fuck you think you are.
I mean, that's how, I don't know what you have to say anyway. Of course I take
And you fucking smile. It's like you don't even care. You don't even listen to me.
Are you just doing a tantrum right now?
Now you're gonna analyze me and point out my fucking parts? Yes, I'm gonna have a fucking tantrum. We don't have a safe word. We don't have a get out of
It's
this.
unfortunate when you're shouting, don't fully hear the word.
I know, but it felt really good. Okay, scene.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
So get it. Is this even are we on? Yeah, we're on.
Oh, we're on, yeah.
Was supposed to be before our I'm just kidding.
I know, it just felt to come up. So we're talking about rage and anger, and also, Nikolai, feel free. Obviously, I don't even have to tell you to do whatever you want at any point.
I was just noticing how I started laughing, and I was trying to put myself, but I anyway, that's a whole other story. But yeah,
maybe let's unpack that a little bit. I think because I think a lot of people laugh because it's a nervous reaction.
Yeah, I mean, there's many like this. I got to know this laughter part like just kind of recently and it's much more than just, and for me, I got to realize it's much more than just, like a comical part, it almost, when this laugh comes, it's not only like, it's like saying, okay, this is not serious, and kind of I mean, there is a protection energy. I'm like, okay, I'm not taking this in, it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
But also kind of like, oh wait, this is ridiculous, like this can't not be, this is too much, and almost like trying to, yeah, like I realize this part is the one that tries to bring certain perspective, it's like, oh Shane, yeah, I know you're angry, but you're not angry with me, like, like kind of like steps back, but it has some kind of this positive intention of like, hey, wait a second. I mean, I know this happens sometimes with my wife, when we're in an argument, and I notice that part comes in and it just tries to be like, okay, come on, like we're a couple,
Like to diffuse it.
Right. It's like we love each other. Come on, we don't. This shouldn't be an argument, So, kind of, trying to bring some lightness in a way, and I got to realize it's like it's not that bad, I feel that part comes in, and sometimes we're able to just come back together without, maybe processing the whole thing for a week, So, but anyway.
That's amazing. Yeah, I don't have fights with people. I mean, I wasn't always comfortable with my anger. Well, maybe we can share about that. Like, how do you, because I think a lot of people, when I do let my anger out, whether it's a workshop or whatever I'm doing, it's under a facilitated environment, whatever the facilitation is. And people are like, I can't access that kind of anger. Like I've even done like angry, I was at a nude event and we were doing emotions angry. And I just went, oh, like, I'm so comfortable, A, being naked, B, being angry. And we put them together. And I was like, wow, and I felt the room be like, whoa, that's amazing. And I was thinking it was amazing too, but I go in like, look what I could, like, I feel very proud of my anger. And it's really my grief, not so much, but my anger is very easy to touch.
So I love that you, can I bounce back on that?
Yeah.
So it reminds me, I was in, so core energetics, you know, there is 4 years in that program. And a lot of the focus of, I mean, I don't want to say that's the only thing of core energetics, but there's one aspect where they invite people, or I would say they push people to connect to all their, you know, negative aspects in a way, you know, and negative, I mean, so they take this perspective, you know, like anger as being negative, which would not be the case in IFS, but kind of this, they call the lower self, you know, this part of us that say no, that are angry and so on. And I still remember there was this exercise, and we were, all of the 4 years were together, and someone was facilitating, and they were like, okay, year 1, show you're really pissed, you know, then year 2, show you're really pissed, year 3, show you're really pissed, year 4, show you're really pissed. And, you know, you would see that crescendo of like people, I mean, from what it said, like got really less and less inhibited about getting to feel their anger and getting to like really embody it and give it, you know, 100%. And so, yeah, when you say like, oh, in the workshop, you're like, give it full, you know, full throttle. Yeah, it reminds me of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I love that full throttle. Yeah, now that wasn't the case to begin with. You know, when I first showed my anger, it was in my improv class, and I got so upset. I ran to the bathroom and I was like, oh my God. And people were like, that was amazing. And I had so much shame. Like, I wanted to be this, you know, articulate, cool, self-expressed, you know, woke person, not like Brooklyn, fuck you. It sounded dumb. And like, but nobody, there were a couple of New Yorkers, but my fuck you, everybody has their own fuck you. And the exercise was to get angry, and something I let go, and it was amazing. And then I was like, wait, you're saying that was cool? And like my inner teenager who had all this shame was like, oh, you know, and then I got like braggy about it. So.
Right. Yeah. And I think we wanted to talk a bit, at least like, I mean, different exercises that we learned.
Yes. Yeah, let's talk, and then you're going to guide us through some. I think I have to get that out of the way in order to participate.
What? Say it again?
I had to get my tantrum out of the way in order to participate. But yeah, welcome to join us, and everybody, you know, Nikolai's going to lead us through some physical practice, and we invite you to do it. Like, if you can make noise, and if you can't, I'll show, you know, if you can't make noise, just put a comment, because I can show you a way to make safe noise where people aren't affected.
Yeah, so a couple of things come up to me. It's like, so just to remind, you know, the two, at least, you know, if you think of IFS and core energetics, they come with very different ways to allow anger. And in a way, you could say, you know, IFS is going to be much slower. Maybe it will be more integrating, but it will take much longer for people to get in touch with their anger. And because in IFS, they will work with all the parts that are concerned about anger. And, you know, it's in the end, it will help the person to be much more harmonious with all different parts of themselves. And whereas in core energetics, they will come and try to invite the anger just through the
Or
body.
push. Will they really invite, or are you being nice?
I mean, they will, like they will, it's a matter of attention, right? It's like if you're, like how we often talk, if people are in their head or they're not in their head, right? It's in a way where you're putting your attention. So if you're putting your attention in your head, you will have all your fears, your shame, your history about anger, like all this kind of stuff, and you'll have to deal with it. Like one day or another, in some way, you'll have to deal with those thoughts that are judging you for your anger, whatever route you go, because you can't just kill them, you'll have to deal with them at some moment. But one way is to stay in the head and slowly deal with that and like become more and more comfortable with the body. And then, but what core energetics does is like, okay, we'll focus attention on the body. Like, you did a little, like you can talk about that later.
Yeah.
You focus attention on the body, and that automatically, shuts off for a bit the judging mind, right? If you ask the person to dance, to move, to be like, so that's why I'm standing today a lot. Like I want to be in my full, energy and body. And so if you ask the people to, have their body energized, to stomp their feet, to, do movements, that's where attention goes. And when you have attention there, when you have attention there, then you don't have as much bandwidth for what's happening in your head, right? So it's kind of, we're doing something, and automatically we're paying attention to that. All the mind that is saying it's bad, is not there because it doesn't have space. And then you're like really allowing that anger to come in, right? And so that's the path of like through core energetic. And then there is a learning, because you did that exercise and you're like, oh wow, kind of like, that was interesting, huh?
I mean, that's what my whole theory in life is like the body informs the mind,
Right.
So
I mean, it's not that later you won't have a backlash saying like, what the fuck did you do? And you'll have to deal with that. And so, yeah, I remember connecting with my anger where, we were in a group of people, and I was at this core energetics event, and we started doing just embodying. So first, stomping your feet. You're standing, you're just because there's so much sensations, already in your body from stomping your feet, like your attention is there. You don't have really much space to think about it. You're stomping your feet. And so whoever is watching, we can try that. Just stomping your feet, and maybe stomping your feet more and more. And
I would even say, raise your knees, right?
Yeah, raising your knees and really feeling the stomping under, really feeling the sensation of your feet, really feeling the movement of your feet. And then as you're doing that, we'll just go to some primal things that, are connected with anger and connected with boundaries. And one of them the exercise we did is no, and so you can stomp your feet, and then at some moment, just stay in a position where your legs are bent, and then you just do no, 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 no. And just feeling. And then once you did that, they have just feeling. I mean, I feel like all the energy just from doing that, all the energy from my legs. And they like allow the legs to shake a little bit, just to kind of allow the whole energy to flow through the body. And I mean, I already feel quite some activation from that. And then like when you see the whole group doing that, I was like, oh, wow. And then the one that made me really angry and like really helped me to kind of is like, It's give it to me. Give it to me. So you're like grabbing. Can you hear what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
You're grabbing and you're like, give it to me. And you can try that. So you're standing in a position, stable position, and think of something that someone took from you, something you want back. Might be person, might be a relationship, something you want, or like a goal you have. And just think of that and just try, give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. And then, yeah, just do it a couple of times. And yeah, and I remember like, and I had an insight in that moment. I was like, oh wow, this is it was it was related to a woman actually back then. And I was like, oh wow, this is what I've been feeling. And I never dared to feel. Like there was this part in me, this animal part that was saying like, I want you, give it to me, you know? And because all my system was like, oh no, you have to be a good boy, you shouldn't want that way, you shouldn't feel that strength, you shouldn't feel that raw, just I want it, and period, you know, no discussion. Because that was so not allowed to in my system. I just felt anxiety. I didn't know why, I just felt anxiety. And then I did that exercise and I was like, oh my God, you know, that's what I've been feeling. And like getting in touch with the anger just feels so empowering, you know. And so, yeah.
I love that you bring this up because I think our culture is so quick to just be like, oh, I'm anxious, that's why I don't date. Like it's a very clear, like I get anxious, so therefore forget it. And, you know, I just taught this nice guy rehab class, and what you know, getting in the body to me
like,
is so
fuck
important.
you. And that's another
Fuck
one.
you. Yeah, like,
and with the pelvis.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Yeah, so it's really validating to hear what you're saying, because I've never been trained somatically, but it's just natural because I worked with kids.
Right.
And they're very, if they want something, they're like, I want her, give it to me. They just grab people, they grab toys. So I really learned it from this very primal human being. You know, this is the first time they're let go from their parents. They're like, they're human for their first time. They don't even know how to take care of themselves. So when something is not fair, they don't have the words. They're just like, give it to me. They just take it. And I'm like, look how pure that is. It's so beautiful. But as adults, you know, there's shame and like,
and
somebody,
I keep seeing to that, saying, you know, like you see these kids, give it to me. And you see adults coming immediately like, no, you have to share, you have to share, you have to share, you know? And it's so, I mean, that's a whole other topic, but you know, that's already.
It is and it isn't, you know, like, because
I mean, it's like a whole cup of parenting, you know, but
totally. But let's
like,
make it relevant.
That's where it starts, right?
That's where it starts. And let's play it out a little bit. So a kid goes, give it to me. And the parent's like, you have to share, right? So now the kid,
fuck you, I don't want to share. Right.
And so what happens? They get punished, right? They get taken away from being social, or they're forced to share.
Yeah,
or
like, why are you so egoistic, right? And then like all the voice of like, oh my God, you shouldn't want, you're egoistic, you're so not a good person.
You're not social, you don't know how to be friends with anybody. Like basically you're fucked up and I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. And like from birth, you know, you're fucked up from birth.
You're fucked up and I'm embarrassed, and now we can't go to the park anymore, you know, things like that. But and this is why I didn't really work well in public schools, because I would ask the kid, do you want to share this toy? And they would say no. I'm like, okay, can you give this kid a different toy? Like I had these other methods of being, because it's not like share or not share. It's like communicate, get along, and figure out a way.
Especially validating that they don't want to share. They're like, oh, you don't want to share. Yeah. You know?
And why this is important is I believe that self-development is reparenting ourselves, because we had all these experiences. Even if you have the greatest parent, you're still going to be mad at them for something they did, or figuring out, But I think, through the body, you just figure out ways to overcome that. Like, that's why I brought it up, because of what you explained. Like, oh, that's what I wanted to say to this woman. But like, don't be crazy in society. All these rules have taught you, like, be a good boy. Don't push
Right.
that edge.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, I'm very fascinated about the whole parenting thing, because obviously we have a kid and we keep seeing all the time things, we don't agree. And my wife and I really want to make like some videos around how would that look if you do that with adults, right? It's like, you have your iPhone, and you don't come to your girlfriend and say, why don't you share your iPhone with this other person who wants to play with your iPhone? It's ridiculous. We don't do that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, like with kids, it's okay, right? And anyway, so I feel very passionate about that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's very funny also, because
Well, it's also confronting, because a lot of times it's a mirror, like what you just said. If a parent says you have to share your toy, if there was some angel that was like, you have to share your iPhone.
yeah.
No, it's like, well, then don't tell your kid that.
You have a car. Why don't you share with everyone who
Right.
has a car, right?
Why don't you donate? This guy's starving. And so if we can see ourselves like the parent and the child, then it becomes relevant.
Right.
Because we have needs like the same as a child in us, so it becomes important. So when you see a kid, I see kids often, and I just love making eye contact, and they're like babies. I would say around one, they just really drop in. And then they don't feel bad looking somewhere else. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, I'm so attached. And they're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's impressive, that non-attachment.
Or all these people that come to our daughter and like, ha, you want to smile, and she just looks at them.
Yeah.
She looks away. She doesn't care.
No social niceties. Like, these are great practices. I went to a spa the other day, and I said to my friend, I'm not going to smile at anyone, because I do that. I don't know what it is. And it was annoying me. And I was like, can I stop it? And I was able to just keep a dead face and be like, I don't have to be the welcoming spa girl. Like, I want to be in my own world. So when I see kids doing things, I know it's so primal that I want to try it on, just to make sure that I'm not stuck in some social nicety, like, mask, actually.
Right. Yeah. So we have a bit of time left. What else for you comes up?
Well, you've mentioned the pet peeves, like, what gets you fucking angry in 20 seconds? Like, what? Because I have that today. I mean, driving, I've really changed my whole attitude about driving. Like, I don't care. If someone's rushing, I pull over and I'm like, go. I don't give a fuck. But yeah.
I think I don't remember I worked on that once. I don't know if it's still there, but it was definitely there if with a friend, or like in my men's group, we have someone who says, by tomorrow, I'll do this. And tomorrow comes and they didn't do it. I would go ballistic, very quickly.
But they're working with you, or they're just like doing something for themselves and they're lying every time?
Say it again.
And they don't, like, is it something accountable for themselves and they just don't do it?
Well, it would be, I get angry I always feel there is, it's like, for example, we had the thing in our men's group that if you don't attend, you have to let others know that you don't attend, or something like that. And ideally you have to let them know, say, a certain time in advance. And if you can't make it last minute, we had a rule that you should call someone, you should call someone and have a check-in if you're last minute, you cancel, and no one does that, in our group. And in the beginning, and that was one of our agreements, and I would get so angry. I'm like, this is what we agreed. Why is no one doing this? And so I would be like, I would remind it, and then and then but that was one thing that like
I totally
someone,
resonate with that. I'm
yeah,
like militant about respecting the group and what we agree on. Like, I don't
right,
understand how people can live their lives and be like, oh yeah, I get
yeah,
angry too. I'm like, what do you think? You don't fucking matter? We had a discussion. You
right.
agree. I heard your
We,
words.
exactly. We talked about it. Why don't you doing it? Like
Right.
and like that, and now I'm like, I don't even bother. But now it reminds me next time I should I should bring it up.
Or let them own it and be like, I think that rule is bullshit and I don't
Right.
want to do it.
Right. I
Own
mean,
it.
kind
It's
of, yeah,
fun. Yeah.
exactly. Agree. Is it? And that's still something I'm working on. It's like we have an agreement, someone is not doing it, and then like, I could feel compassion, like, oh, he forgot or something. But I have an angry part that comes and takes it personally. I'm like, you're not doing it because you don't respect me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
I totally, I'm working on it too. And then I'm like, oh, well, send a text but then I worked with this a while. I like this one. It's like, do you feel like you don't matter? Is it that you think you're bothering people? Like, what are the compassionate angles can I come from? Or are you just having a bad attitude? You know?
yeah, I mean, I love that you say that, because that's exactly like the part that is angry. It's like there's no good reason for you for you to not there's no fucking good reason for you to fail at that.
Right.
and
Right.
and we had those discussions, and there were people who were like, oh, I'm just not that type of person to remember these things, or I don't think I matter, or they have their own thing, like, oh, I don't want to take other people's time and do a check-in.
Yeah.
There's all of these things, and it's like, I think there is space and to be curious and be like, oh, so what's that like for you? What's your resistance? And people might have a lot of reasons for not honoring that, but at least the part of me that has a wound around like not being respected, the first scenario, it's like, you're disrespecting me. That's why you're doing this. Like, and I know that's why.
Interesting. I think for me, it's like you have a bad attitude. Like you just
Mm,
like I don't want to be with you if you have a bad attitude. Like do you want success or you just want to be an asshole? Like I
mm,
get mad that it's like, why are you here?
mm.
Like I don't know. There's something in it. I've really worked with it. I didn't realize I was still so angry about it. Um,
Oh,
I think because I hold these, whatever it is, whether I'm a student or a teacher, as something very important.
yeah.
Like I don't just do things and then be like half-assed. Like even with this anger thing, I was like feeling low energy and then I just go full throttle. There's no like, "Nah." That's what gets me really angry.
All
Like,
right, all right.
yeah, like,
I want to play that scene. Let's bring
oh,
it up.
it's so good.
So,
My favorite one is like, that's what she said. I'm like, are you making a fucking sexy joke or like, are you being a limp? Like, I just hate sexual innuendos or like,
that's what she said. What is that?
yeah, like people say, that's what she said. I don't know, like, oh, she's coming late. Oh, like the meeting started at 6. Oh, she said she's coming late. That's what she said. Like, it's this bar talk. Anybody who I need some like it's like referring to some sexual thing that never happened.
I don't know that's what
You
she
don't
said.
know the statement.
I
If somebody,
just saw this meme, like just on YouTube, just today, about that's what she said, but I didn't get it, so I don't know the context.
it's so bad. It's like referring to some sexy event that never happened. So if I said, "Oh, she's coming late," and some schmuck says, "That's what she said," it's like, what's it? What is it? I can't think of the word right now because I'm so pissed. But like when a sentence means one or two things and it's the
Uh-huh.
same words, like she's coming late could be sexy, or it
Yeah.
could be like, oh, the meeting started and some schmuck says that's what she said. It's not funny. It's been overused for years.
Uh-huh.
And it's not a direct, it's like when somebody's giving like, yeah, sexual innuendo. It's like not funny. And it's also saying, I want to be sexy with you, but I don't want to really like let it be known, because then I'm all in. So it's kind of like just enough to be, I don't know what, but it's I get so angry and I'm like, you think that's funny? Like, I'll just like name it right away.
No.
Yeah.
So what's the judgment is like,
Yeah. The judgment is like, what a loser. You're so non-committal. You're not willing to take the risk.
so
You
it's
want
like it's like
attention.
you're disrespecting that person.
It's like you're disrespecting. I think it's like you're disrespecting yourself.
Hmm.
I'm so angry at it.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's not funny. There's like a lot of layers of it, but it feels like someone is trying to be cool. It's obviously very me, right? It's like someone's trying to be cool. They're trying to be liked.
It feels
They're trying
fake.
to be funny. It feels fake and like too trying. Like, go for it. You want to fucking get crazy and be edgy and refer to sex, then go
So
for it.
I know that part of you. So what does, I mean, something at least related. So what comes up for you if someone like is kind of hiding, not doing the full thing, is like
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
hesitant?
Yeah. I'm like, busted. I know you. I know your game.
Yeah.
And it's so instinctual. It's so reactive for me. So it's like, yeah, when people are working hard to get attention, it's painful to see. And I think it strikes like pain and anger.
Right. Yeah.
You got another one? Do you want to close out with another?
Yeah, I mean, we're already getting late, but I mean, that's something to explore further, because, you know, behind any like strong anger, there is always some wound, right? Some more vulnerable stuff around, like, you know, where, you know, someone being a bit fake, and I don't want to speak for you because I don't know exactly what it is for you, but, you know, for someone, maybe for me, it might mean like, oh, this person not being honest, this person is lying to me, this person is manipulating me, you know.
I hear, you know what it is? They're not doing their work. They're not like working on themselves. They're just out in the world with their wounds, just projecting and la la la.
And so like, if we go deeper, what's the, you know, what's the danger for your system if they're not doing their work? What's the
I'll tell you,
part?
The scary part is these people have children and they're not responsible for their, I mean, I'm saying this and I'm thinking of myself as well, you know, but and I think this is why when I watch the show Love is Blind, like these dating shows, and I watch people be desperate or give ultimatums about getting married because they want to get married and have kids, I'm like, you're going to fucking breed and you're a maniac and you're pushing people into something and you're desperate and you're not well. And you're going to have kids and you're going to raise those kids and you're polluting the world. Oh my God. And you're not helping the world be a better place. You're actually putting your wounds in little kids. You're going to yell at them and you're going to do all kinds of things that are not mindful. Right. And then the world keeps growing in this fucked up way.
So I'm hearing like maybe there's a vulnerable part in you. It's like, these are actually people who are scary in some way, or like they're dangerous, right?
Yes, I feel they're dangerous.
Yeah.
That's so, because I just care about humanity. I don't want to like raise myself up, but when I see people who are, let's say, getting drunk and having irresponsible, you know, crazy sex and like, oops, I got pregnant, ha ha, I'm like, this is a human being. You're going to have to raise for a very long time. And it's like an accident, or the manipulation of like, I'm going to trap him so I'm going to get pregnant. Like all these weird ways that people relate and don't take responsibility upset me.
Hmm.
And I feel like it starts with a stupid joke that's like not landing anywhere. But some girl is like, oh, you're funny. And I'm like, okay, that's a problem. Wouldn't that be a funny game show if I was out and about and I was like, citizen's arrest, you are making a stupid joke. Do not like get over here. I don't know, just some
Fine. Yeah.
fine. Yeah. Thank you for going into that a little bit. It felt
Yeah.
very like loud all of a sudden.
I hear you. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, shall we
Yeah, let's close.
yeah, maybe just
I've been posting in my emails. Oh, hi everyone. If anybody wants to be in the hot seat, and yeah, just shoot us a message or an email. And I mean, we obviously have fun with nobody, but we also have fun if there's a third person and there's something you really want to work on. It's a really great opportunity, I think.
I mean, and if there's more, I want to say if there's more than one person,
Oh,
where we can do a small, and those
mm,
who already came are welcome to come again. So we can have
yes.
a small community and start having more and more fun, all of us together. So
Yeah. And you know, we both bring cool things to the table, but what I want to say is, you know, we have a conversation beforehand. So it is a hot seat. Oh, I don't think we tell people this, but we do meet for some time before
yeah,
we go live.
I mean, we'd message,
Yeah, we give you a
connect,
questionnaire. So we're not just like, hey,
just
get vulnerable. We don't even know you. Like, let's rip your shit apart. It's really done for a higher caring purpose. And it's like if you have some relationship that you're wanting or that you've had, or like whatever you're doing in your life in relating, it would be healthy to jump in. And you can set boundaries. You can be, we ask, is there anything you don't want us to touch upon? So it's a hot seat, but there are a lot of caregiving container.
oh, that's the whole point. So we're not,
That's
yeah.
the whole point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nikolai, thank you for getting us to stand up. And
Yeah, that was fun. I really enjoyed reconnecting to that. That's great.
yeah. And if anybody's interested in working with either of us, just send us a message and we can discuss what that looks like separately. And we're interested, you know, whatever. Or you're like, no, I want to work with both of you. Like we're into creating and really being of
That's
service.
fun. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So good to be with everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.